officers and members of the public. Oh, okay. Okay. I declare this ordinary council meeting of the Shire of Broome open at 5 p.m. Could I ask those in the public gallery to now switch off their mobile telephones and electronic devices in accordance with the conditions of entry to the council chambers public gallery. In accordance with Regulation 14I of the Local Government Act, Administration Regulations 1996, this meeting is being audio and video recorded and live streamed on the Shire's website. Under Clause 6.16 of the Shire's Meeting Procedures Local Law 2020, I do not give permission for any other person to record the proceedings of this meeting. By being present at this meeting, members of the public consent to the possibility that their image and voice may be live streamed to the public. Recordings are also made available on the Shire's website following the meeting. Please note that any items discussed behind closed doors will not be live streamed. However, once the meeting is open again to the public, live streaming will recommence. To ensure the live streaming volume is maintained, councillors, please remember to turn your microphone on prior to speaking and speak clearly and directly into the microphone. Once you have finished speaking, please turn your microphone off. Item 2, attendance and apologies. Councillor Lewis is on an approved leave of absence, and we have everyone else here, so that's good. Point 3, announcements by President. As the current council term comes to an end, we extend our sincere thanks to Councillors Cooper, Councillor Mayle, Councillor Matsumoto and Councillor Taylor. Your time, dedication and commitment to serving the Shire of Broome and our community are deeply appreciated. The role of a councillor is not without its challenges, and your efforts in representing the community and making well-considered decisions have made a meaningful and lasting contribution. On behalf of the Shire of Broome, thank you for your service, leadership and the support you've shown throughout your term. So that's to the 4 councillors. I would also like to sincerely congratulate James Watt, Director of Corporate Services, reaching 20 years of service with the Shire of Broome. This is an outstanding milestone, and I commend him for his dedication and valuable contribution to the Shire over such a significant period of time. Thank you, James. Well done. Okay, item 4, declarations of interest. Do we have any declarations of interest from councillors? No? Thank you. Moving on to item 5, public question time. There are guidelines that need to be adhered to in our council meetings. During public question time, people speaking are not to personalise any questions about elected members or staff or use any possible defamatory remarks. In accordance with Clause 6.17 of our Meeting Procedures Local Law 2020, a person addressing the council shall extend due courtesy and respect to the council and the process under which it operates, and shall comply with any direction by myself as the presiding member. A person present at or observing a meeting shall not create a disturbance at the meeting by interrupting or interfering with the proceedings, whether by expressing approval or dissent, by conversing or by any other means. A minimum of 15 minutes will be allocated for public question time. Each member of the public is entitled to ask up to 2 questions before other members of the public will be invited to ask their questions. A reminder that public question time is an opportunity to ask questions, not to make statements. Can I remind the public that public questions are to be submitted no later than 12 noon on the day of the council meeting. If you have several questions you wish to submit, please provide these in advance of the deadline to give officers sufficient time to respond. Lucy Falcocchio, I think I got it right, I hope, and Tamara Burchell have submitted 3 public questions prior to the meeting. Lucy and Tamara, I'm not sure, Tamara's not, which one's, it's Lucy, and that's not Tamara. I didn't think so. Oh. So Lucy submitted 3 public questions prior to the meeting. Would you come forward and ask your first question, please? The microphone should be on.
Hi everyone. The first question is, can Council explain why it implemented the new policy to remove community access to bar revenue at the Civic Centre without first consulting long-standing non-for-profit users, such as Broome Pride, whose events have demonstrably contributed to the Shire's social and economic outcome for years?
That's the first question. Yep. I'll ask the Director, Corporate Services.
Through the Chair, thanks for the question, Lucy. Broome Pride Mardi Gras is obviously a significant event and, as you've stated, contributes to improved social and economic outcomes across the community. The volunteer group behind the event should be congratulated for the ongoing growth and success of the event. In regards to Civic Centre bar operations, the change in approach was an operational decision made to improve the overall efficiency, consistency and sustainability of the facility. The previous model, where community groups occasionally operated the bar, created logistical challenges, including the need to repeatedly empty, restock and re-establish the bar between events. This placed additional strain on staff resources and compromised service quality. In reviewing the Civic Centre operations, officers researched practices at comparable venues across the state and found that typically bar operations are managed by the venue directly. This approach ensures compliance with liquor licensing requirements, improves stock rotation and product quality, helps retain casual staff through more consistent shifts and maintains service quality and accountability. Importantly, it also allows bar revenue to remain with the venue to support the ongoing facility maintenance, upgrades and community programming, reducing total facility costs and in turn the financial impacts on all our ratepayers. We recognise that the changes have impacted Broome Pride and a handful of the other community groups, but due to the operational nature of the change, officers did not consider that direct consultation with Broome Pride was required. This is primarily due to alternate funding being available through Council's Community Development Fund.
Okay. Would you like to ask your second question, please?
Given the non-for-profits like Broome Pride already pay substantial venue hire, equipment hire and cover all production, security and staffing costs, what assessment did the Shire undertake to ensure that removing bar revenue does not make these events financially unviable or lead to cancellation that harm local tourism and business?
I'll ask the Director of Corporate Services to respond. Thanks.
Through the Chair, as I've mentioned, individual assessments did not occur. However, venue fees and charges are considered through Council's annual budget process each year. The review of venue fees and charges considered various factors and includes a comparison of similar venues locally and across Western Australia. As a premium venue, the Civic Centre is committed to ongoing improvements and delivering value to hirers. Current fees and charges, as well as available not-for-profit discounts, are structured to reflect the level of service, the facilities and the support provided and are considered fair and appropriate. Of note, Council approved a reduction to the venue hire fees through the 2025-26 annual budget, with the whole venue hire fee reduced by $452 per day. This was to reflect that the bar area was no longer included in the whole of venue hire fee. Council also endorsed the continuation of the 50% reduction to venue hire fees for local community and not-for-profit groups.
Okay. And your third question, please.
If the Shire insists on retaining bar operations for community events, will it immediately implement a 100% waiver on venue and equipment hire fees for recognised local non-for-profit organisations, and can Council commit to a time frame for deciding this, given the events like the 2026 Broome Mardi Gras Cabaret are already at risk?
Director of Corporate Services, thanks.
As mentioned earlier, currently Council provides a 50% waiver for local community groups and not-for-profits through its fee and charge schedule. Council will again review their fees and charges in March, April 2026, and these will be incorporated into Council's 26-27 annual budget. Council understands that fees and charges can be challenging for community organisations and carefully considers this when setting fees and charges. However, Council is also required under the Local Government Act to manage its assets in a financially responsible and transparent manner. This ensures that the costs associated with maintaining, cleaning, insuring and operating our facilities are partially recovered in a fair and equitable way with the least financial impact on ratepayers. I will mention Shire officers have had several meetings with your board members and understand that there are concerns relating to the potential loss of bar sales income and the income and the impact that may have on the event. Officers have suggested other funding opportunities for Mardi Gras and encouraged your board to apply through Council's Community Development Fund. The Mardi Gras event aligns with the CDF guidelines, and notably the funding program specifically identifies venue hire costs as eligible expenditure. The CDF program opens in January each year, and I'd strongly encourage you to consider application.
Thank you, Director. Thanks, Lucy. I hope that answers your questions, Tom. Are there any other public questions? If not, I declare public question time now closed. Item 6, applications for leave of absence. There are none. Item 7, confirmation of minutes. As a recommendation, the minutes of the ordinary meeting of Council held 18 September 2025, as published and circulated, be confirmed as a true and accurate record of that meeting. Do I have a mover? Councillor Virgo, Councillor Mohammed, seconded. Any dissent? If not, carried unanimously. Thank you. Item 8, presentations, petitions, deputations. There are none. Item 9, reports from officers. There are no items to discuss. Item 9.2.1, development application, demolition of existing structures and parking within the verge at 11 and 15 Coglan Street on page 8. The Director, Development and Community advises that the report has been amended since publication. Amendments are identified in the minutes, noting that the report recommendation has been revised and attachments 2 to 4 have been deleted. So I'm sure that everyone's seen the amended motions. Any clarification? If not, do I have direction from Council? Moved Councillor Virgo, Councillor Cooper, second. Any dissent by councillors? There's no dissent. I declare that motion carried unanimously. Thank you. The next item is prosperity. There are no items to discuss. Item 9.4 performance, 9.4.1 minutes and recommendations from the Kimberley Zone meeting held 15th of August 2025 and the Kimberley Regional Group KRG meeting held 25th September 25. The recommendations on page 23. Do I have direction from Councillor Virgo moving, Councillor Cooper second? Any clarification? Any dissent? If not, that's carried unanimously. Item 9.4.2, monthly financial report, August 2025, page 160. As a report recommendation there, do I have direction from Council? Councillor Virgo moving, Councillor Cooper second. Any clarification? If not, I'll declare that one carried unanimously. Item 9.4.3, monthly payment listing, September 2025, page 185. As a report recommendation, do I have direction from Council on that one? Councillor Taylor, Councillor Smith, second. Any clarification on this item? Any dissent? If not, declare that item carried unanimously. Sorry, this time, yeah, sorry. I was going so well. There. Right, yep. Yep, 9, yeah. So item 9.4.4, the minutes and recommendations from the Audit and Risk Committee meeting held 7 October 2025, page 210. There is a committee recommendation on that. Do I have direction from Council on that item? Councillor Mail moving that motion. Councillor Virgo.
Sorry, Chair. Through the Chair, I actually just have a motion with an additional point, if that's okay.
Councillor Virgo.
It's basically as is, the first 3 points, and the fourth one is to request the Chief Executive Officer to continue advocacy to the state and Commonwealth governments as outlined in the Kimberley Regional Group's 25 4 policy paper financial assistance grant. And the reason for that is the current assessment methodology applied to the financial assistance grant significantly and unfairly impacts remote and regional local governments, and it directly impacts funding provided to the Shire of Broome. The Kimberley Regional Group has undertaken significant work investigating the financial assistance grant allocation methodology, and as a result, the outcomes with the position paper recommending several policy priorities for Commonwealth and state government designed to improve equity, ensure alignment with horizontal equalisation principles, and recognise the increased cost of delivering services in remote and regional communities.
Thanks, Councillor Mall. You happy with that part, addition? Yeah. Clarification, I think your point 4 relates to the fact that of the forecast end-of-year deficit, of that, over 300,000 was financial assistance grants. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Thanks. Did Director Corporate Services want to comment on that?
Through the chair, it's a significantly complicated matter. We did receive notification from the WA Grants Commission that our general purpose financial assistance grant was reducing, and it reduced significantly in the annual budget prepared by council. We utilised last year's figures, and obviously I think it's about $323,000 reduction to that is a significant cost to council. It's over 1% of rates. The cause of that is there's multiple causes. The main cause is that the allocations for minimum local governments in the metropolitan area were raised to 30% of the total allocation, meaning that the bucket of funds was smaller for the remaining non-minimum local government councils. Some of those still managed to receive more funding through the changes in their disability factors. However, the Shire of Broome hasn't been that fortunate and has experienced a significant reduction in those costs. The Kimberley Regional position paper, it was circulated earlier by email, and there's a copy on all the councillors' desks, outlines several position statements, all of which are applicable to the Shire of Broome and the wider Kimberley region, and all of which we hope to continue advocacy for at a state and Commonwealth level.
Thank you, Director. Do I have any clarification from councillors? Do I have any dissent? I don't. Okay, I declare that motion carried unanimously. Item 10, reports of committees. There are none. Item 11, notices of motion with notice. There are none. Point 12, notices of motion without notice. There are none. Item 13, business of an urgent nature. There is none. Item 14, meeting close to the public. There are no confidential items to discuss. And item 15, meeting closure. I would like to once again thank our outgoing councillors for their valuable service and contribution to the Shire of Broome. I wish you all the best on Saturday and see how we go on Monday. Thank you. There being no further business, I declare the meeting closed at 5:17 p.m. Can I please confirm the audio and recording has ended?